Cleveland Cavaliers are winners again, this time by a final score of 148-114 over the Washington Wizards in the nation's capital. Got a ton to break down here on the Cleveland Cavaliers Roundtable YouTube channel. Thanks for everybody for jumping in. My name's Anthony Moeglin. I'm joined by my partner, Spencer "Spin" Davies. Spin, I was going to ask you what it's like to play in a back-to-back, but obviously we're not on site. Spinny, awesome win by the Cavs. This offense is rolling.
Rolling right away, man. It just seems like when Darius Garland gets back into the mix, these guys know what they're doing. Their roles are back to what they're used to, and everyone just has synergy with one another. And it's just the balanced box score, again, the way that we know these Cavs have played since Kenny Atkinson got to town. It just reflects what they did last year, and now, after the last couple of games, you're starting to really see what it looks like almost at full strength.
We got a little connection issues. I'm gonna work on some things here on my side. But as we kind of jump into it, Spin, I got you here. All right, looks like we're back up to normal speed there. So as we get rolling here, got a little crowd joining us tonight. So to everybody who's jumping in, thanks for joining us. First and foremost, get into that comment section. I just dropped a comment in there. Let us know what you thought of the Cavaliers' big time winner tonight. But Spin, I wanted to start with the man in the middle, Jarrett Allen. Through 10 games, has been kind of up and down for him. Had that injury to his finger. He's playing through a lot. We talked, or you and Germ talked about him the other night, just how tough he is. But tonight was rolling a little bit. 16 points, 14 rebounds, and was really a key component to this Cavaliers front court.
Yeah, he held Sarr off the glass really well. I thought that the touches they got him early, that's when Jarrett's at his best, when he's starting to be involved in the offense. And I know it's hard because they have so many scoring threats, but if you just get him the ball in the short roll or getting dived to the basket, he's able to just kind of pop it around. And it always comes back to him, which makes it really tough on defenses to stop the Cavs offense because he's got that little jump hook going. He had a really nice play earlier where he was on the baseline, had a nice little shovel feed to Donovan Mitchell for a dunk. He just has more of an ability than I think people give him credit for, and it's because his usage is down. And we know that Jarrett Allen is an all-star caliber center in the NBA. It's just that he doesn't have the opportunities like the rest of the guys do to showcase that. So I really like that he was attacking tonight in the way that when he had the ball at the top of the perimeter, he was able to kind of go downhill, pick his spots, and actually put on a little bit of an off-dribble game himself. So there's that. But just crushing the glass tonight. Offensive rebounds were insane. I think he had 8 of them tonight. The Cavs as a whole had 25. Big shout out to Craig Porter Jr. too. He had 5 offensive boards. That's one of the smallest guys on the court, and you got to love that kind of heart and hustle that you get from CP. But all around, again, as I was saying in the open, just everyone contributed all the way down to the fourth quarter when Tyrese Proctor went bonkers. Flamethrower ends up with 17 points. Luke Travers is getting steals in the lane. You got Naquan Tomlin doing the breakaway dunk. It just seems like everyone's having fun again. And I know that this isn't a, Wizards team that's the greatest. They do have some guys that can play. They got CJ McCollum. They got obviously Chris Middleton, who's on the back nine of his career, but still has some really smart plays. I love the way that he was playing tonight. I said he's starting to look like Joe Johnson now in his heyday. But I think, the young talent they have, like Trey Johnson and, Bub Carrington didn't have a great shooting night, but I love the potential that he has. Like, they still are NBA players. They're still pros. And the elephant in the room we haven't gotten to, man, Cavs are on the board now in the NBA Cup group play.
Huge.
So they lose.
We got to talk about something here because that court was brutal. That was tough, dude. It was like a neon red, bro. Like, what are we doing?
It's like that episode of Seinfeld. That meme goes around with Kramer in the room. But back to the point, like 34 points. That's going to be big time as far as seeding in Group A. So, getting a win and maybe flipping it on its head a little bit just to the difference of 1 week because they lost to the Raptors last week on Friday. So
there we go. Hey,
it'll be interesting.
Spin carrying the water for the NBA Cup. I love it. I personally love it. I'm a big fan of the NBA Cup. But Spin, you talked about it at the start. Really the catalyst is Darius Garland, and it was great to see him really just like look like himself again. 20 points, 9 assists, 7 of 16 from the field. And again, for him, I don't care who the opponent is. It could be the local YMCA. Like just getting him out there and getting him running up and down the court and moving the basketball, and that the ball just has a different energy when he's in the game, man. And the Cavs play at such a different speed. It's really refreshing to see because I think for the first time, in this era of the Cavs, they have some curveballs off of DG, right? You go Lonzo, that's a whole different lineup. You can, CP is like a similar-ish player, but I think with what Darius can do paired up with Lonzo, obviously Lonzo didn't play tonight, but I think that duo could be really good on nightly bases, on possession bases, on quarter bases, man. I think that they can present a really unique challenge, as the season progresses.
It's guys that naturally move the ball and naturally find their teammates. And, in Lonzo's case, he does the 3/4 court pass up the top to the other side of the floor, and bigs have mismatches on him. He's got really good recognition of when guys have mismatches on him. Darius, he does very similar stuff as far as just like penetrating kick. He's a little bit different because Lonzo's a little more perimeter oriented than Darius is. Like DG, when he penetrates, gets into the paint, he just sprays it out to the corner. And the Cavs have so many able shooters that it's tough to stop. Like we haven't even gotten to Sam Merrill yet. Like DG and Sam had a really good synergy going there in the first half. And Sam, I mean, he got the ball, but he was also sidestepping guys off of pump fakes and shooting threes. He even got to a mid-range on the left side by the nail, and it was just terrific to watch. Like, it was like, I texted you, I was like, it's Billy Hoyle. This is Billy Hoyle. White man can't jump right here. Like, it was a pretty shot. But, there are so many different weapons that this group has.
Yeah.
And I think you're starting to see the depth come through with it now that guys are coming back.
Yeah.
And going back to DG again, like you touch the paint, you break the paint, you create advantages, you're getting the ball swinging, you're getting the defense in rotation. And then, Donovan Mitchell comes in and scores 15 points in 3 minutes in the third quarter. You got to worry about that guy. So then you got to worry about DG, who got his shot going in the second half, knocking down threes. I love that he missed it, but I love that he tried a left-handed floater in the fourth. Yeah. That was hilarious. But they have so many able players. Like DeAndre Hunter didn't even have his best night tonight. Like that guy is capable of scoring like crazy. Yes. You've got Evan Mobley, who was leading the team in field goal attempts at half. He didn't have his greatest night. He was very effective defensively, altered a lot of shots, got on the glass as well. But can you imagine if all of them were on the same page on one night? Because they scored 148 tonight, and there's still like 4 guys that didn't have their best showing.
Right. It's amazing. I think you nailed it. The depth of this team is really coming through. And we saw it the other night when they lost to the, I think it was the Hawks, right? No,
they beat the Hawks.
The Raptors. Okay. So that was when, when DeAndre was kind of leading the show. And you were talking about like, hey, that was maybe his highest point total. That's not how the Cavs want to play, but they were down. They were out DG, without Jared Allen. They were without Donnie, who didn't play. They're out without Max Strus. And you're like, and we still don't have Max Strus. And there's just another level that these Cavs guys keep finding. And it really is amazing stuff. Jay dropped this in here, and I pulled it up while you were talking. But every Cav scored tonight. DeAndre with 8, J.A. with 16, Ev with 18, Donnie with 24, Darius with 20, Junior with 5, Travers 4, Tomlin 6. I'm going to keep going. Thomas Bryant 4, Sammy 14, Jalen Tyson 10, CPJ 2, and Tyrese Proctor 17. Every single Cav that stepped on the court tonight, well, that was on the team, notched a point, which was pretty awesome. Cavs 148, Wizards 114. If you made it with us this far, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Spin is the hardest working guy in Cleveland media. Give us some love here on the YouTube channel. Jump over to Roundtable as well. Give us all a follow. Spin, want to turn the conversation here to Evan Mobley. Got a nice comment here by Jermile Kirkpatrick here. Mobley should have had more points. 18 points. What was really good, really encouraging to see for me is 10 rebounds, 4 on the offensive side, 6 on the defensive side of the ball. He's still trying to develop that 3-point game, which I'm good with him doing it early in the year. 0-4 from 3, but 7 of 16 from the field. Spin, what'd you think of Evan in the middle?
I think it's fair to say he should have had more points, but also that's really nitpicky on a night like tonight. I think it's just it's a little too nitpicky for me. I feel like Evan was fine. He didn't
Yeah.
pop tonight, but that's also because all the other moving pieces and parts were popping. Like, this is the game of basketball. Unfortunately, there's only one ball to go around. Not everyone can be at their extreme best on the same night. Like, Evan had one possession that really stuck out to me that was good. It was in the corner. I think he was backing down. He had Chris Middleton on a mismatch. And he was backing down, dribbling with right. And then he went baseline, pump faked, and then dunked on somebody. And I was like, okay, that's the Evan I want to see. Other times, yes, Evan, he still has not been strong enough with the ball. That's the biggest thing for me with Evan. Like, when he gets a board, hold it high, because no one's going to be able to come get it. Like, if he pulls it down, you're going to get a bunch of hands in there. Like, case in point, like the Raptors last week, right? Mm-hmm. So I think also he could be a better receiver, like catching the ball, just putting on my Scouts hat. But, the positives absolutely outweigh the negatives right now. It's development. It's what it is. And so, again, if bad night or mediocre night is 18 and 11, then I think that's a good sign for Evan Mobley. Do you not?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But Spin, I think I want to open this up to kind of a deeper conversation here. And this is probably a podcast topic that you and Germ might hit on later in the year. But like, when you're looking at Evan and his development, right? We're in year 4 in the NBA, and you're like, everyone's kind of pointed to the last couple years have been like, all right, Evan's got to be the unicorn. Evan's got to be the unicorn. How are you watching him this year? Because we are 10 games in. We're about to be 10 games in. Cavs are 6-3. So you're kind of through that first little stanza. And there's still some things, and it's certainly early in the year. And by no means, I don't want this to come across as like sound the alarm type thing. But how are you evaluating him? Because there's some things that, like, hey, like you said, better receiving the ball, keeping it up, when you get a rebound. Some little stuff that you're like, maybe that should already be solved, but also you still see the touches of great. How are you watching him and evaluating him this year? And kind of what's your timeline when you're looking at this season?
I want to see how he makes reads. That's my number one thing. Like, when you have the ball in the triple threat, are you going to attack off the dribble? Are you going to shoot right away? Are you going to make that decision quickly enough so that the defenses can't know your next move? I feel like Evan still might be a little bit slow on process time on the perimeter when he catches the ball, which that's going to get better. He's going to understand where his teammates are going to be. He's going to understand where the screens are coming from. I like seeing him handle it in a pick and roll, and they use a guard in a screen, right? Like, they used Sam Merrill a lot in screens.
What do you do?
You usually think it goes the opposite, right? Like, Sam should handle in Evan should screen, but in today's NBA, you've got 7-footers that are taking the ball, handling, and having the guard screen for them. So I want to see more of that. I want to see a little bit more of, a confidence, I guess, in the mid-range, which we've seen in the past, like where he's done the turnaround J. The KG comparisons come out of nowhere all the time. I don't want to see him play like KD. I want to see him stick to his strengths, as Kenny Atkinson says, and make sure that he's making the right basketball play and not trying to force things. Like, the thing that me and Kenny disagreed with from the first game was when the Cavs had, I think it was a 5-point deficit, and they got a stop. Evan was coming down the other floor, and he pulled up in transition for a 3 when he had an opportunity to attack a small. And Kenny's like, I'm okay with that because that's where he needs to grow. But I'm thinking in game time situation, and maybe like looking at if this was the playoffs, then you should go after that mismatch. You should try to get to the free throw line. Heck, he's already had a game where he's gone 12 of 12 from the stripe. I know he doesn't look great at the free throw line right now, and it's something that he's worked on and will continue to work on, but get to the free throw line a little bit more. It's so hard to designate between perimeter Evan and big man Evan. There's got to be a friendly balance there. There's got to be a happy medium, and I think Darius Garland will help him find that too. That's another thing, and another piece of this is that DG is his partner. He's the one that gets him the ball in the pocket to make those decisions and whatnot. So it's going to be a work in progress throughout the season. But in the first 10 games or so, it's a mixed bag. But that's to be expected. And the second part of this, and I addressed this on our podcast, Courtside with Cavs, me and Spencer German, I think that Evans got the weight of the world on his shoulders right now for how he was talked about over the summer. And from a human standpoint, you've got to be feeling that pressure. You're coming back from an all NBA second team. You're the reigning defensive player of the year, and now your head coach, the best player on the team, they're all saying you're going to be an MVP caliber player. That's a lot of pressure. And you put some pressure on yourself too at All-Star Weekend last year when you said that I think that from 5 years from now, it's going to be Wemby and me at the top of the league. Yeah. Well, it's time to start proving that. And I think he's going to get there. He just ain't there yet.
Yeah. And there's a lot of time to go. This is still a kid. Like this is
24.
A kid.
24 years old in his fifth year. Yep.
Dude, when you were, what I say earlier, fifth year. Spin, when we were 24, we certainly weren't making all the right decisions. Just we still had a lot of learning left to do, I guess.
No comment.
Is what I'm trying to say. But he's so fun, and there are some times where it's like, can be frustrating to watch, like when he dribbles it off his foot and you're like, dude, come on. But also too, you take that with, hey, I'll post you up, or I'll dunk it from here, or when he does hit threes, when his three ball is falling, he's a damn near impossible cover. So a lot of growth left to go for Ev, but still, like you said, if mediocre or bad is 18-10, sign me up. Where's the dotted line? I'm taking that every single time. Hey, let's spend a minute on Donovan Mitchell here. 24 points tonight. Had a hot stretch. Then in the middle of the game. Wasn't his best shooting night, but that's to be expected after he goes for 46 the other night, 46 the other night on 71%.
It was 47.
Yep. Apparently nobody was talking smack to him over Xbox tonight because it wasn't his best shooting, but it's still a very, very, very nice night for Donnie. Just kind of one of those leadership nights. Hey, I'm going to get in, make sure we're fine, and then pass the torch off to the rest of the boys.
Most definitely. And, he didn't lead the team in shot attempts tonight. He wasn't coasting by any means. And he did have some really pivotal moments to where, like, the Wizards would cut it down to like 12 or something like that. Sure. And then he'd come back down and say, no. Kenny Atkinson actually had a very savvy sub towards the end of the third quarter. I think the Wizards, and this is nitpicking too, but the Wizards cut it down to 178 with Don on the bench. Mm-hmm. And they had scored 3 straight possessions. The Cavs turned it over once or twice. And it was like, okay, like, come on, guys, get back on the rails here. So, Donovan and Jarrett came back in, and immediately that thing shot right back up.
Yeah.
But it was the way they started the third quarter to make sure that they kept the foot on the gas the way that they've said they need to fix. And they did so. And like I said earlier, Donovan had 15 in 3 minutes, and it was like all 3-point shots, whether it was coming off of offensive rebounds that Jared Allen was getting, or if it was just in transition. One time, the camera was too slow and didn't even catch Donovan Mitchell hitting a 3 after a Wizards miss. So it was just go. And I think moving around, he looks physically fine. And I know a lot of people were probably a little bit hesitant, seeing that hamstring injury pop up on the injury report. It looks like he's fine. I think he's all right, and he's still one of the best, and if not the best, guard in the NBA. So it's
amazing spin to watch him play, because like his superpower, and you were on this early, like when he had his first injury of the year, and he was kind of coming back from it, trying to fight back from it, and the biggest thing that stood out, he was playing through it. But he wasn't getting at the bucket, right? He wasn't attacking downhill, and when he is playing downhill and playing like with his foot on the gas pedal, it is amazing just to watch how savvy he is. And when he gets down in the paint in the land of the trees, man, he never gets blocked. He's never scared to go at anybody.
Did you see the truck stick on the rookie tonight? The shoulder into Junior Watkins, and then he got the and one. Oh my gosh! I thought it was Sunday, and I thought that was a fullback going to the end zone. He just pounded into the paint and got that and one. That was a heck of a play.
He's such a special talent, because he's got that in him, and when he's going downhill, good luck trying to stop him. And then when he's got it going from 3, he has that microwave ability, which we saw tonight, where he gets hot, and good freaking luck, man. If he's got those shoulders square and those feet set, I mean, that thing's in, and he's just such a fun player for it. And hey, Gamble, appreciate you jumping in. And we're gonna jump back to this comment real quick. Gamble the Camel. Okay. Love the name. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. But he said, I know I know it was against the Wizards, but we finally won the rebounding battle with 25 offensive rebounds. Just incredible stuff, dude. When you're creating that many more possessions, Jared Allen with 8, Evan with 4, Donnie with 2, and the big one was CPJ with 5. Just talk about that. That's 25 extra possessions. Even if you get half of that, you're excited. But the Cavs were cleaning up the offensive boards.
Yeah, and I don't have the box score in front of me, but let me know how many second chance points that was, because I'm sure it was a lot. I also do want to include Jalen Tyson in this mix, even if it's not on the box score. He is in there just dogging and trying to get these boards.
He's so old school.
Jumping around in the trees and doing whatever he can to tip the ball out. He doesn't get credited with a lot of these offensive board opportunities and also defensive boards. He is in the mix for all of those possessions, and he needs to get a lot more love. I do want to say one thing too on Jalen Tyson. This is a little unrelated, but I think he's getting a little bit of a crappy whistle as of late. I think they're seeing his aggressiveness and assuming that he's making contact, but a lot of the time it's really clean. The one he had from a loose ball, was going after a loose ball on an inbound, and they called him on it even though he got all ball and didn't even undercut a guy. And then the next one, his second foul, was in transition, clean verticality, didn't hit an arm at all. That was bogus, and it put him in foul trouble early. I hated to see that. But hey, you said it earlier. He scores 10 points, hits a couple threes, keeps that double-digit streak alive, and in a game that he's not even in rhythm, right? Yeah. That's a good sign too. I think the fact that he was able to play through that and still get those minutes and be very productive in them.
Dude, he there you go, 30 to 13 second chance points. We'll fact check that, but Gamble, we're rolling with you, bro. We are rolling with you. 30 to 13 second chance points. You're going to win a lot of basketball games doing that and getting that many that big of an advantage on the second chance there, man. Staying on Jalen real quick. One thing that really stood out to me, was the other night, and it was when Philly came into Cleveland hot. And Tyrese Maxey's playing a lot of minutes, and he's kind of the leader of that team. And very first possession that Jalen was in the game, he picks Tyrese Maxey up full court, right? 94 feet, let's go, me and you. Now, why I thought that was so important and what I'm going to connect it to is, Tyson's got a small forward-esque body, right? Bigger guy. Maxey's a little point guard who's quick, fast, all the things, can create, score, finish. And Tyson's picking him up full court. He's got that ability to guard any 1 through 5. He can guard anybody. He can guard in the paint. He can guard in the perimeter. He can guard 94 feet from the cup. I love what they're doing with him, like forcing him to play, forcing him into in important minutes. He's going to be an important piece of this rotation as we get through the year. And then, dude, I can't help myself but think of the matchups problems he creates in the playoffs, man, because you roll him out on anybody and he's going to be an issue.
They're making him grow up fast.
Yeah.
And it's the theme of training camp was throw him into the fire, throw him into the fire. That goes for JT. That goes for CP, who's also picking up full court. That goes for Tyrese, who's also picking up full court. They want these guys to be ready just in case. And in JT and CP's case, I feel like they're actually in the rotation. Tyrese is a rookie. He's going to fall, victim to the numbers game at some point. But you want these guys to be ready. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. I feel like JT has absolutely been ready for this. He's playing confidently. The jump shot's there. The cutting is there. Like I said, always in the mix on the glass or just getting a hand in. He's been handsy as far as the fouls go, but like I said, I think he's been getting a little bit of a crappy whistle lately. But, I mean, I don't think you could ask any more of Jalen. And, thinking about where he was playing last year, it was always garbage time. It was always with the two-way guys and some of the guys that were in the G. And now that you're putting him next to NBA talent, he's starting to learn the right habits. He's starting to play the same way those guys are. And that's crucial. This is really, in my opinion, his real rookie year, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just got what he brings to the table, I think, can be such a game changer, man. And the biggest thing for me is just the confidence piece. You touched on it. watching you can visibly see the confidence growing with him, and it's going to continue to do that night by night. And you're going to see exponential growth by him just in what he can do. When you start believing in yourself, man, just amazing stuff starts to happen.
Can I hit on one more thing with him too? Like, it's
hey,
not
this
easy.
is your world. Hey, Spinny, this is your world. I'm just lucky to be in it, brother. You can hit on whatever you want.
It's not easy when you come from college and you have the highest usage on your team, the most field goal attempts on your team, scoring 20 a night. You literally are the central point of the team. And coming into the NBA where there are so many others like you, and you have to buy in, you have to sacrifice in order to get minutes, in order to play a role. You have to buy into it. Mm-hmm. JT, he told us flat out on the road, he was like, I'm not going to lie, like, it's hard. It's hard not to have the ball in my hands all the time. It's hard to just say, okay, I'm going to play defense and I'm going to shoot open shots and that's it. Like, that is not easy for someone who was a star on his college team to come in and almost get humbled a little bit because you're on a new level. And that's a lot of the case for these young players. And sometimes they don't get it. And that's why they flame out, right? And you've seen plenty of that times happen across the NBA. Jalen understands what the situation is. I think the coaching staff and Kenny Atkinson have communicated that to him well. I think that the stars have given that confidence to him to play that role so that he'll get rewarded for it in the end. Kenny said, if you do what you're doing for us, you're going to be a $60 million player.
Yeah.
And that is motivation right there. You're going to make money because you're doing the right thing. You're making the right plays. You're not being selfish. You're not trying to take over possessions, and you're just doing your job. And that, I think, is a great message to anybody in basketball that's trying to get to pro level, is sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and do what you're told.
It's amazing point spin, and something that oftentimes gets lost. I mean, we're gonna see both versions of it, right? Where JT's kind of getting out of that, like, hey, low man on the totem pole, and Tyrese Proctor is a perfect example. This is one of the best players at Duke last year, and he's gonna play 15 minutes a night. And guess what? Like, go be a star in your role, right? Be a star in whatever they ask you to do, and that is a little bit of a challenge at times. Spin, we rarely do this, or I rarely do this, but I wanted to flip it to the other side. I wanted to talk about the Wizards real quick because there's a guy on that side. This Alex Sarr dude is like, he's got the goods, man. This team is going to stink again, it looks like, but it feels like they got a dude in Sarr. What do you like about this team? It feels like maybe CJ McCollum's not going to finish the year on this team. Maybe Corey Kispert, maybe on the trade block. Maybe Chris Middleton may go to a contender. But is there anything you love or like about this Wizards group?
Well, I like that you brought up Alex Sarr. I think that just in 1 year difference, I think physically he looks better. Yeah. He got owned on the glass tonight, and that's something that he's going to have to figure out. It is only his second year, but the fact that he's able to stretch the floor, I think that he's got those wide shoulders. He's able to kind of move some bodies. He's a little bit more finesse than some of the players that are his size, but the fact that he's already got a couple 30-point games this year, I think is good for them. On the other side of it, I feel like on the Wizards, that is, I really like Trey Johnson. I think Trey Johnson's got a chance to be a really solid guard in this league. Yeah. He just has the goods. When you can shoot the ball like he can, when you have that kind of quickness, size at the guard position, he's going to be a problem eventually, I'll tell you that. Someone they didn't play as much and I want to see more of, and I've seen in 2 different summer league situations, I really like A.J. Johnson. I want to see more A.J. Johnson. I think he's got a little bit more of that pep in his step than some of the younger guys on that team. I like him. Cavs got lucky. They didn't see Keyshawn George tonight. Keyshawn George has been one of the hottest shooters out of the gate this year. He did not play tonight, and that sucks because he probably would have given them a little bit more of a fighting chance. But Bub's had some good showings too. I think he just had an off night shooting, and you can credit Cavs defense for that too. But I do. I think they're headed in the right direction. It's going to take a long time. You said it. They've got some vets on the team. I feel like having those vets though is definitely a step from where they were before though. Like bringing them in at the trade deadline last year and having a Middleton and a McCollum on that team can help guide them along. You need those in your building. You can't just throw out a bunch of diaper dandies and expect to win right away. So they'll teach them the right habits. They'll be good going forward. I think that Brian Keefe's a pretty good coach. Shout out JJ Outlaw, former Cavs assistant. He's on the bench too. So it'll take time. It'll take time. They're still going to be at the bottom of the league, but I think draft wise, they've gotten going in the right direction. We'll say.
I'll tell you what, if you guys needed any more evidence to know what Spin brings to the table here on Cleveland Cavaliers Roundtable, he just went through every damn player on the Wizards and gave you a little run up on them. You're always going to find a CJ McCollum fan in me, Canton boy from the 330. I will always.
He was not bashful tonight. He threw those shots up. I'll tell you what.
Whenever he's playing the Cavs, man, he always shows up a little bit. The pride of Glen Oak High School down in Plain Township. All right, Spin. We had a question in the chat here. Thoughts on the Bulls tomorrow? The Bulls currently they're trailing the Milwaukee Bucks 99-95. This game was like 15 points when we started our show tonight, so they're chipping away and coming back in that one. Chicago is the early season surprise. They're the early season good story. 6-1. Josh Giddey's playing top tier basketball. They got guys all over this court. What are you most excited for tomorrow night in Cleveland?
Honestly, Ice's return. I'm excited.
What am I talking about, dude?
I was gonna say,
how can I do that?
I'm excited to see Ice. I'm excited to see Ice. I'm sure that he's gonna feel a certain type of way. He loves the guys. He loves the organization. But what better motivation than being traded, right? So I'm excited to see what Ice does tomorrow. Who he's gonna match up on? I bet you he's gonna be guarding Donnie, right? Like that's gonna be fun. Man. That's gonna be fun to watch. So Isaac Okoro coming back to town. I think that, like you said, Josh Giddey, triple-double machine early in the year. My gosh, it looks like he's been worth every penny. You got to make sure that you're always on the lookout, too, for Vooch. Buzelis, my gosh, like I think, probably someone that can win most improved at some point in his career and probably make an all-star team. He just has the goods, man. I really like Matas. He does some good stuff. But yeah, that's really who I would have my eye on. Got to make sure you guard Vooch out on the perimeter. He's someone that stretches the floor. He's also very, old school type big. When he's in the post, he does those little turnarounds, pick and pop guy. So Jarrett's gonna have his hands full with that. But yeah, you're gonna have to guard. You're gonna have to guard because Giddey, similarly to DG, Giddey is the one that stirs that offense up. He's the one. He gets into the paint, sprays out, and then your shooters are ready, right? So, but yeah, Ice's return, man. I cannot wait for that.
It's gonna I'm envisioning a Donnie pulls the ball back, ISO situation, clear out, and it's Ice on Donnie, and they smile at each other real quick, and then boom, he goes at the bucket, and those two square off. I'm envisioning that. That'll be a ton of fun tomorrow night. You'll be back inside the arena. I'm assuming. I didn't ask you. I'm assuming you'll be back in there.
Oh yeah. I don't miss
home games. Spinny is there. Spin. I have a question for you. What year is it? What year is it? The Bulls are in the first seed in the East. The Detroit Pistons are currently the second seed. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in third place. The New York Knicks are in fourth place. This feels like, I don't know,
2009.
2009? Yeah. I mean, what the heck? This is awesome. You and I, when I am obviously I'm a spot guy here on Cleveland Cavaliers Roundtable. We rarely talk NBA big picture. Through 10 games, through the first couple weeks, what are your takeaways right now of the NBA as a whole?
Whew. Well, I'm
limiting you. Okay, wait. Let me step back. You got 90 seconds. Your clock starts now.
I like Denver a lot. I think Denver's solid. I mean, OKC is the one that you have to beat, though. The Thunder, they just have way too much cohesion. They play the same style. They really didn't lose anybody. That is a tough cookie. I'll tell you what. In the East, I think it's the Cavs and it's Milwaukee. I mean, New York, I do like. I think that they have a good thing going with Mike Brown there. See if they stay healthy. They've got a lot of weapons, but I just don't know if they're on the echelon as Milwaukee or as the Cavs. And before the year started too, I said the Cavs have to get to the Knicks level, but and this might be hot takey from me, which is very rare, but after 2 games, and I know it wasn't the best competition, I see the Cavs offense looking like it did last year. I'm like, all right, well, I'm throwing away anything I saw in the first week and a half because that's who they are, right? So Cavs, Milwaukee again. The Bucks, as I said before the season started, like I can't believe no one was looking at Milwaukee and saying, "Oh, I'm afraid," because I'm afraid watching them. With Giannis playing the way he is, AJ Green, I think Miles Turner is an excellent addition. So those would be my three in the East as it stands right now, and we'll see if anybody else pops up.
You would survive like one day in college football world because you
great
just
comment by Silesh, by the way.
We're pulling it up. We're pulling it up here in a second, but Spin, you would last one day in college football world because you just said the Knicks aren't on the echelon as the Cavs, but hey, in game number 1 they beat them. So there we go. Like what are we?
Oh, Baylor TCU.
Oh,
Baylor TCU.
Yeah, that Notre Dame Miami. You would last 5 seconds in college football land. No, a lot of fun tonight. In the nation's capital. The Cavs roll and win comfortably, and do so in an impressive fashion. Right? They looked the part, scored all the points, and had really had it going. 148 to 114 was the final. And Salish, excuse me, appreciate the comment here. We work hard for you. Your coverage is excellent. Garland coming back in a way protects Mobley from handling the ball at half court. Don't think his handle allows him to do that yet. Garland protects that weakness. Absolutely, positively. Bullseye. Jump back, Salish, to the front of our show. We talk a little bit about Garland and Mobley there at the jump. But everybody who jumped in tonight, appreciate you joining us. A lot of fun in here tonight after a Cavs win. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you do because we got everything you want, especially when we got guys on site. We got post-game interviews from players, coaches, Spin and Germ doing their weekly podcast. Our post-game reaction shows are all available here on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed here. Make sure you're getting over to the new site, not Buckeyes Roundtable. That's for tomorrow. If you're a Buckeyes fan, come find me there. But get over to Cleveland Cavaliers Roundtable and follow along on the conversation. You got direct access to me, to Spin, to everybody on the team. So make sure that you're following along there. Spin, we're getting out of here on that. Real quick. Finish it up. Any final shout out?
Special shout out to the Cleveland Charge. Spent my Monday with them on media day. They started their season tonight. Didn't get off to a winning start, but really good interviews on Cavs Roundtable, by the way. So make sure you check that out on our YouTube channel. We've got like 8 or 9 of them. They're just all lined up there, and need some love because we got to show some love to the G League affiliate too.
Well, you got to. They're up next in Cleveland, and up next for us is tomorrow night. Spin will be on site, and the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Chicago Bulls. 8 p.m. tip, right, Spin?
Yep.
Late night tip. It's going to be awesome downtown in Cleveland. So appreciate you all jumping in here. Cavs 148, Wizards 114. We'll see you again soon here on the Cleveland Cavaliers Roundtable.